Welcome to the RamCast, the only place where Ferris Bueller doesn't get a day off. My name is Evan Gutierrez, and I'm with
Kevin Sanchez.
And I'm Joey Saza.
And today we're talking about the 2020 Oscar nominees.
Yeah, with so many topics to choose from, I'm very excited about them this year.
Unfortunately, we don't have time to talk about them all, so we only talk about the ones we feel are most important.
Okay, so right we're starting on this podcast, we're talking about the Best Picture Award. What do you guys think is worthy for that title?
Honestly, I think Joker, because it's a great story. It's made by DC, but not exactly. It's associated with the company, and the storyline is good. Joaquin Phoenix did a great job acting. Camera work, spectacular. The soundtrack for it, great, but we can't really cover music for this section. What I can say is that you don't really have to be exactly a superhero fan to watch this film. It's just an added bonus if you are. I think it's just great all around.
The movie I think is going to win for the Best Picture Award is actually going to be Marriage Story, a Netflix movie, which really surprised me how well they're doing. They have a lot of Oscar nominees this year, which is really good.
4, right?
Yeah, 4. Yeah, it's really impressive. And the thing I think that makes this great is that it's good on all corners. The writing style is very natural. Like, it doesn't feel like a movie I'm watching, if that makes sense. It feels like I'm just watching these people because it's a very human feel to it, and it really helped with Adam Driver and Scarlett Johansson's little point, how they did just an incredible job of acting in this film. I think it's one of the best I've ever seen in my entire life. I've never seen such good acting, which is always refreshing. I think the soundtrack was gorgeous. I think the cinematography was amazing. I think overall, it should win in my opinion. How about you, Kevin?
I saw 1917, and that movie was pretty great. It's about these British soldiers in World War I, and they have to cross through enemy lines to deliver a message to save, I believe, 1,600,000 lives? No, that's too big of a number. 1,600 lives, that's what it was. So it's these two guys, and they're going, but it's filmed in a way so that it looks like a one-shot. If you don't know what that is, it's basically taken with one camera, and it's not jumping between different angles and cuts. It's following them throughout and not jumping pretty much. And I really like that style because it helps you feel as though you're in the movie with them. Like, you're not watching them, you're with them. And I thought that's really nice. So the camera work is amazing, and I really like the story.
I agree with all of you guys on all those fronts. I think this year's Oscar nominations are all been just amazing films. Like other films we were able to talk about is like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood was amazing. I Hear Little Woman was great.
Yeah.
From Kevin's perspective. And you really like The Irishman, right?
Yeah, Irishman was good. I don't know what to say. It's a long film. It's really drawn out, but the storytelling in it and just the characters' feelings in it are really, really strong. It's very noticeable. And you can, I wouldn't say you can relate to the characters, but you could understand them clearly. And honestly, this year is going to be a really tough time for the Oscars. There's a lot of great films, and to pick one would be difficult, to say the least.
All right, to get this train moving on, we can talk about Best Actor or Actress, or both of them together because they're separate categories. What do you think is going to win Best Actor, Joe?
I got to go back. I got to go back to the Joker. Joaquin Phoenix, hands down. I have no question about it. I believe he will be nominated Best Actor because he portrayed someone with a mental disability so perfectly that it's hard to dispute it. Honestly, if you look at his previous roles in other films, I can't really say that I've seen a bad film from him.
I completely agree with you, Joey. I think Joaquin Phoenix did such a good job as playing the Joker, someone who's so iconic. Has been portrayed by so many different actors, and he really did make it his own, which is always refreshing to see a different take on such an iconic character. For me, when I think of win Best Actor, I think it's got to be with. I really enjoy Leonardo DiCaprio in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and I really, really enjoyed Adam Driver from Marriage Story. I think, in my opinion, Adam Driver should win because I think the way he portrayed his emotions was. And that entire film was great for me. I think the acting was the best acting I've ever seen. Adam Driver really made you sympathetic for him and then hate him at some moments. He really seemed like a real person, not just someone running down a script.
You didn't really like the actor in other films, right? You for example, in the Star Wars series.
Oh,
you did not like him?
I do not like Adam Driver, no. Which is always good because I like him now because he did such a good job. So it's not like I'm being biased. I don't like Adam Driver, and he really proved me wrong. So let's talk about Best Actress. Who do you think won Best Actress, Kevin?
For Best Actress, I'm not sure. The only actor that's in the running I'm familiar with is Saoirse Ronan. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong. But based on what I've heard you say about Scarlett Johansson in Marriage Story, I believe that she might win because I hear you like that movie very much.
Oh, she killed it. I think she's demolishing the competition. Like, she did better than Adam Driver, in my opinion, honestly. she played her role exactly how it needed to be, a human being, not just a character. She really did a good job. Scarlett Johansson was really busy because she's also up in the running for Best Supporting Actress for Jojo Rabbit, which I don't know if she's going to win that one because I think she did a good job being her character. She was the mother of the kid, but I think she's slaying the men. So I noticed that for Best Supporting Actor, we have Brad Pitt there, who I think is going to win immediately because his role in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood was really, really interesting. I loved his take. He played a stuntman, but it wasn't only about that. It's just being him as a person. I think he was a really fun character in that movie. And his perspective was really integral to the story. It isn't that he was in there for 2 scenes. There's 2 people from The Irishman, including Al Pacino. What do you think any of them are worthy?
I believe they're good. I believe they did great at their roles, but to say they'll get Best Supporting Actors with all the possible actors they have so far, I can't say. I can't say they'll win anything. But I think for what they did a great job.
Yeah, I honestly think Brad Pitt's good. He's taking that. He did a really good job. Okay, so next category we're talking about is Best Director, which throughout the running, there's actually, usually it's, for Best Director, it's all just the Best Pictures, but the directors who made those films. I think for Best Director, it's got to be Tarantino or Martin Scorsese. I honestly think so, because I think those categories are just made for them at this point. Because Tarantino did a really good job directing that movie. Like, it had his own feel to it, which is his. That it's known for being him. It's not like anyone can do that but him. So I think Quentin Tarantino is winning that.
If I could say anything otherwise, I gotta say Todd Phillips, because I keep going back to the Joker, but he did such an amazing job for what he had. He had so many other interpretations for it that it's just hard to believe that he did it so perfectly.
He really did. I agree on that. The next category we got to go over, which is the last one, is Best Animated Feature, which I think all of them are very strong films. What do you think is going to win that one, Kevin?
I saw I Lost My Body, and that's a pretty great film. The animation style is very unique. The story writing is very unique. I really like the art style and how it's 2 stories happening at the same time and how they interconnect at the end. And I thought it was a very nice film.
All right, what do you think about Joey?
Honestly, I think it was Klaus. I understand this is a Christmas movie and Christmas is already over, but it's so good. The art style is hands down my favorite art style I've seen in any animated movie so far. It looks like a wood carving almost. I love it. I hands down love it. The story was great. Characters were good. If it could win, I wish it to win, but it's going against like big titles like Toy Story 4.
I'm glad you put that up there because for sure, Toy Story 4 is going to win. That movie was just great on all 4s. Like, everything it was doing was amazing. The story was very heartfelt, and that movie made me cry like a sucker. That movie was too sad. The animation, by far the best thing I've ever seen in my entire life. The fact that I couldn't believe I was watching an animated movie. Everything, they were using like actual film techniques for animation, which I think blows my mind that we're at the peak now, that they're putting the mindset of a movie, not worrying about it being animated, because we're at the peak of technology right now.
Yeah, it's not just a cartoon anymore. It's a full feature film.
It is, and it's incredible. And if Toy Story 4 doesn't win, it's going to blow my mind.
I gotta say, the Oscars this year, they're going to be great. Hands down, they're going to be one of the best. They don't have a host this year, but it doesn't matter.
I think with the films we have now, it's really running itself. Because when we talk about what we think is going to win, it's not like any other film is less deserving. Because if any of these films win, it 100% deserves it. Because all of them are amazing in their own way. This year is going to be incredible. I cannot wait.
Yeah, I completely agree.
Sadly, that's all the time we have for today. As always, I'm Joey Saza.
Kevin Sanchez.
And I'm Zaven Gutierrez. And this is the RamCast, signing off.